the best universal characters in the game. Perhaps they are the best characters in the game in general. Here is my top 10. Hello gang, welcome to the channel, and today we're gonna go through a top 10 for all universal characters. And universal characters used to be and still is one of the strongest class, especially for PvP, because they have an advantage against all the other classes. You know, blast is better than combat, combat is better than speed, speed is better than blast, and universal is better than anyone else, having a smaller percentage as an advantage. It's like 10 to 15% depending on what you have on your character, but the rest, you know, having double advantage. But specifically universal used to be the best for PvP. We have some PvE MVPs also, but yeah, there are 10 really strong. And the fact is that this class has around 17 only. It's 15 here, but you have to consider that Jean Grey is blast type and turns into universal, and there are some other you know, characters that swapping, like Saducil became speed, or Ebonimo becomes blast when he gets his last uniform. So let's talk for the characters we have right now and the top 10 that managed to hit into the PvP, PVE, support or farm meta, you know, in the game, and you should build him considering specific facts. I'm gonna show you also the best characters to equip with CTP, you know, the best CTPs to equip on these characters, and also if the characters needs their artifact or not to perform into PvE or PvP. So let's go into that. And by the way, I had done the same thing for speed, and I'm planning to do combat and blast. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments for universal, the top 10 universal. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and let me know also if you have any other idea for top 10, you know, top 10 weapon master or whatever you believe could be interesting to showcase on a video. So let's go deep into the rank 10, the number 10, the top 10, the 10th. The worst of the dudes. Not exactly worst, but yeah, let me show you. Thor Odinson, and perhaps he is already tier 4 a really long time. He has 2 uniforms that you would consider buying, and he's of value that I'm going to drop. You know, I'm saying about both uniform, having both uniform. Because if you have only this uniform, you can get the character and have a really strong unit for World Boss Legend, and also for a striker of ABL. Striker of ABL doing lightning damage and doing the soak ability to cancel the roar. There are not a lot, and he is the strongest to go and equip there. You have to use him with the CTP of Rage. All the other CTPs sucks for some reason. Even Judgment is really bad for him. But as you equipped him a Rage, he is the #1 striker for soak. You can also use Ghost Rider for some stages that you can swap play with characters, but with characters with like Wanda or Thor that they don't have soak, he's really useful with this uniform. And with this uniform, he becomes one of the best farmers in the game, at least for free to play. After Doctor Strange, I feel like he is the second best, and he is also really strong for World Boss Legend. For ABL, both uniforms gives you the worst alien hero. He's worse than Star-Lord, worse than Odin, worse than Better ABL, worse than Gladiator. So yeah, he is, you know, ABL is not his hard-hitting content, but overall this character can help you with a lot of stages on World Boss Legend. I'm using him still until now for as a striker for sure on my rogue to do the farming. But generally, yeah, I feel like he has still one of the best value, being alien, superhero, male, universal, and all these tags that gives him a lot of World Boss Legend stages, and he hits really hard. The only downside is that you need absolute rage, you know, you can't go and proc, you can, but it's not gonna be cool. And if you use him as striker, you won't have the all defense thing here. If you use him as a character, you know, you prefer to have the 200 proc or a normal raids is pretty much the same. Artifact is not a must-have, but if you want to use him as, you know, go high with him, you need to consider that this transforms the lightning resist you have into lightning damage, which is really awesome for him if you consider that his leadership provide to himself lightning resist. So equipping the lightning resist leadership, you can take advantage of this and go really high on lightning damage. Overall, he doesn't need the artifact, but it's way better with it. So that was it. Let's go into number 9. And yes, number 9 doesn't feel fair for my boy Silver Surfer, but the point is that Silver Surfer right now, it's not the best character for anything, you know. You can't say that Knull absolutely needs him or Carnage absolutely needs him to perform for PvP. He is an Alliance Conquest Otherworld Battle unit, and the only reason I put him into the top 10, to be honest, is the fact that he took a boost from the Symbiote team-up collection, and also he is a really legit way to kill Knulls out there with his Reflect. His Reflect is a piece of cake, and if you wanna take max advantage of it, you should use CTP of Conquest or Egg. Egg is considered the best for manual gameplay, but you know, for timeline battle. But Conquest overall gonna give you a better and more stable performance for the autoplay game modes. He is really strong. He doesn't really need his artifact. His artifact adds some damage, but if you don't have it, doesn't really matter. My suggestions is Mighty Conquest and Egg, Mighty Egg, of course. You need to take advantage, you know, of the enemy reflects immunity. You know, you reflect the enemies. You have immunity on the reflect of the enemy. So if you go with another Silver Surfer, this ability can help you from Conquest. But also the point is to have the super guard break immunity that you get here or from the Egg, and you can cast your counter attacks easier. His manual gameplay has to do with the third skill that does the counter attack, and this counter attack also probably one-shots every single enemy out there, but the reflect is what ends the job for you. You can swap him when Knull has just used his immortality, you know, and he has go away, and you drop him. Knull is during his 5th skill, and all the damage he's trying to do to you, because you swap into your Silver Surfer is gonna start to reflect through the enemy's faces, and you're gonna kill them easy peasy. So he's really strong because Knull is really strong and he can take his reflect. But yeah, this is a use, you know, this is a use. That's why I have him at number 9. Number 10 is a character that I don't really appreciate, I don't really like, and I feel like it's kind of stupid, you know, all the buffs he took and how he's placed, his better rate build, but you know, overall I have to consider, you know, everyone's good, and if you're a player that you don't have Gladiator, she can carry you in ABL, and with the same build carry you in World Boss Legend or you know, GBR. He's not good at anything else, and he's the only awakened tier 4, the only awakened universal that became tier 4 from universals, and he is kind of weird, you know. He has a passive ability giving buffs. His leadership gives fire damage, okay? So you're saying, oh, he has leadership for fire damage, and he has also a buff on his uniform effect, 35 to alien. Okay, I can now go and buff alien characters that have fire damage. And you go there, and this list is that small, and actually the only one that has value, it's his own self. So it's double buff support and lead, but only for himself. And that's the main reason I feel weird for his kit right now. Also, his awaken skill, it's kind of outdated, it takes time to go down and all this. But the fact that he is a support lets it for a lot of good players, for a lot of good characters, you know, in World Boss Legend, and he has his own World Boss Legend stages, a lot of stages. He has exactly the same tags with Thor, and Thor is a better farmer, but he's way more stable on ABL and kind of similar for World Boss Legend. That's why I value him in this place, because also I know that people struggles with World Boss Legend and we need him as a support or lead to go with some specific characters. But yes, he's not the best, but he is an all-arounder, you know. He's not the best for anything, but he can do a lot of things in your account if you have him 100%. Even at level 80, he's really strong. He doesn't need his artifact actually. It's just attack, you know, useless, and he can be used with depending on which game mode you want him to sign, you're swapping CTPs. Overall, an energy would be a really good case for him, and if you want to use him only as a support inside or liberation, it's cool because he is the only one of the two supports, Yondu and him, that exists right now for Alien Hero Day. So yeah, you want to use him as a support, you need to equip a support. If you want to use him as a standalone character, raids, if you want to go ABL, and energy overall is the best for him. Energy, you know, it's from the characters that he is elemental damage, but because he's easy to proc and because energy gives this 200 proc, and as a striker he can also 200 proc with an energy. It's really nice, and most people using him with a proc. So energy or raids for PvE inside the liberation if you're gonna go into support situation. So yeah, this is the number 8. Let me show you my number 7. Thanos is the Mad Titan, and for Thanos specifically, I put him that high in my mind. You know, it's really high for him because he's not the best for anything in the game right now. It's not like he's really good on, you know, he's as good as is Silver Surfer. You know, if I have to compare with the characters that exist right now here, as good as Silver Surfer for PvP, you know, he can take a team on Alliance Conquest perhaps. He can be a really good lead for a specific team perhaps. But he's not the best on Alliance Conquest, Otherworld Battle. He doesn't have the revive Silver Surfer has. So he's kind of worse than Silver Surfer for PvP, but also if you have his second uniform, Farmer Thanos, he is the second best for ABL day that you need to use villain and alien or male universal. He's the second best there. This is something good, you know. He is like better rate build for ABL and Silver Surfer for PvP, so he can do everything. But in the same time, you need to consider that you need to pick. You can't go there and use whatever you want and be good for both PvE and PvP. So the solutions here are only two. You have to go into a Mighty Authority or a Mighty Conquest for PvP. He needs another layer of defense because he doesn't have any revive or immortality. So you need a really good defensive CTP, you know, no grid, no egg. He needs the guard break. He is really a tank that hits really hard. But if you wanna go for PvP with him, he absolutely needs the raids or a distraction. With the raids, he gonna sign for ABL. With a distraction, he can go PvE and hit some World Boss Legend, and then turn him with this uniform and be mid as PvP. So the best overall is to go Mighty Distraction in my mind and go in it both. But you need to consider that you're not gonna be really good for PvP or really good for PvE. So you have a lot of options. That's why Thanos is good. You can build him and have a lot of options. I don't have him tier 4, as you noticed. The only character... Okay, I had Thor and Silver Surfer tier 4, but Thanos and Better Rebuild, I don't have them. Even if I suggest them, you know, doesn't work for me. I didn't like him. I didn't build him because the very next on this tier list is way better. Way better. Loki, yeah, one of the most hated characters in the game right now because he's really hard to play. You can see same build people hit 12 million or 16 million. You can see people score less than 10 million, and with the same build you can see the same guy do 16 million depending on his gameplay. He's day and night. If you don't know how to play Loki, you do him like a ball and throw him into the bin. If you know how to play with Loki, you are, you know, an absolute monster. And the worst part and the worst, you know, the worst category of people is people like me that know how to play, but they can't do it. You know, I know what I need to do, but I can't do it, bro. It's really hard, and I managed to do like 14 to 15 million when others with worse build than me hits more than 16 million. And this is the impressive thing. Thanoses out there do max 13 million and Lokis do like 17 million on ABL. So he is the best for 2 days of ABL and the best for 1 day of ABX. He can carry you through no restriction day also if you are a really good Loki player, mad annoying to play, only raids, you can't use anything else, only raids works for him. And the worst part is, you know, you don't need artifact, you don't care, you know, you can go even without, but the point is having a raids and play proper. I have seen level 80 Loki drops scores on my Discord 13, 13.5. You know, if you know how to play, even with not max build, you can do miracles, guys. The guy is crazy. The guy is crazy, and yes, he is a pain. He's not that good for World Boss Legend because his passives and his abilities actually gives you more damage if there are other enemies around. So you need to consider that if you wanna get the maximum out of his performance, you need to follow a specific way of playing him, which is mad annoying, but in the same time gives you a huge amount of damage. So yeah, for World Boss Legend you're never gonna find a lot of enemies to go ball them up, you know, make them a ball and use your skills. In ABL and ABX you're balling on the enemies and do your skills and the damage is multiplied. So you need to go through a specific strategy or else he's doing nothing. That's why he's not good for World Boss Legend. It's not like he doesn't have the damage. He has crazy damage for anything you want to do, you know. He's really one of the strongest characters. He can go and farm for you. These spots, he's really amazing because there are a lot of enemies. Yeah, and as I told you, he's one of the 3 characters most people using for no restrictions ABL. He, Doctor Strange, and Luna Snow, you know, are the characters most people are using for this no restrictions of ABL to get the maximum scores out there. And yes, this place totally deserves by him, you know. And from a pure PVE, pure ABL and ABX character, we're going into the exact opposite position. Number 5 is for Sentry. Sentry came into the game and brings the upside down, destroyed PvP, you know, he was the best compared to second, way better, you know, way better than the second. And he came into the game native tier 3, he smashed everything, he was an absolute terror until Knull came. So after Knull came, he's not the best for PvP, timeline battle. He's not the best for anything in the game. He's not good at PvE. You can use him for a lot of things, for sure. And, you know, you can go there, play with him for whatever, Alliance Conquest, other world battle. You can do World Boss Legend with him. Okay, he's not gonna perform perfect. But the main thing for him was the #1 manual play unit for PvP, and now he is not that. So what Sentry is? He is number 5, and before 2 months he would be number 1 in this list because he is an absolute monster for PvP still. But the fact that there are not a lot of things to do in PvP on our game right now, you know, everyone is using Knull double support, dude. If you go into timeline battle, everyone is using Knull double support. No one cares about Sentry anymore. I'm looking for Sentry teams to get easy points on timeline battle. He is really easy to kill with your Knull. And yes, it's sad, but yeah, number 5 is the best I could give him. And he is lucky that he's still in the top 10. No, I'm kidding. He's really strong, guys. If you play manual, you can do everything, even with just an obelisk. I have made a video for him. He is usable with an obelisk, you know, clearing everything on manual. I'm using a mighty conquest, and I feel like for characters and accounts that doesn't have a lot of defensive stats on their cards, mighty conquest would be the best. After that, greed is the best also. And the main thing is the exact the same thing I told you about Silver Surfer. You wanna have immunity on reflect, so when you're gonna fight Silver Surfer, Adam Warlocks, Tier Force or Zine Tier Force, you know, you don't wanna get reflected. It's really bad because your damage is crazy and you get yourself one-shotted, you die immediately. And yeah, you're losing your revive like this. But yeah, he has a revive, he has all this. Greed also is the second best. Of course, you need abuse ability or class for super guard break immunity and reflect immunity. So that's all you can do with Sentry. Actually, after that, he is mid on every single content out there. That's why I'm saying that you don't need his artifact. Actually, I forget to mention, he's better with his artifact, but it's not like immortality or revive or something. He's doing everything just buying his uniform and tier 4 of the character. And who is the number 4? Who is the number 4? Wanda Maximoff! Yeah, Scarlet Witch, and she is the meta from the day she came to the game for ABL. 2 days ABL, 1 day ABX. Her nemesis on ABL is Jean Grey. Jean Grey scores a bit less or close to her, but she's way easier to play. You can control the character way easier than you can control Jean Grey. Jean Grey is wild. You press his second skill and he goes like crazy here and there. Wanda has her skill, you need to follow a pattern and boom! She's doing one of the best scores with Mighty Rage for my account. She is massing it. She's really hot also, as you can see. No, I'm kidding, but it's Rage character, Rage only. I have tried her on a video when she came with Judgment, and she's really bad. With the Judgment, she's really bad. The point is, after ABL and ABX, her value drops a lot because she has like this tag and then she's other. No one asks for other anywhere, perhaps for some dispatches, but yes, I mean, if she was human or, you know, or mutant or something, I'm not saying that she should be or something, I'm just saying if she was and she had the tag, then we could talk for something, you know, even more value for World Boss Legend. But right now for World Boss Legend, even on the times that you can't use her, she's not performing really good, you know. Compare, let's see Jean, Wanda here. Jean on World Boss Legend, she's a killer. Wanda is mid but really strong when Jean is really hard to play for ABL and ABX, and Wanda is easier and performs the same and perhaps better for some cases. You don't need her artifact. It adds some damage, but it's not something unique that you are not having without it. So yeah, overall, she totally works. She has also a lead. We have to mention that there are not a lot of characters giving you straight up damage, you know. There are some leads out there, but not a lot. Thanos also has a really useful lead. But the point here is that I'm using her for World Boss Legend Plus with the lead sometimes. That's why I'm mentioning it. But yes, Wanda, she is so sweet to play ABL, ABX. I really enjoy her. And yes, we're in the top 3 already? What? No! Oh no, not already. 24 minutes deep into this. Oh my god. Yeah, you guessed it right. Ghost Rider dog. He is here 1 year and something after his drops. He is still the #1 striker in the game. For ABL and the second best for ABX. perhaps the first, depending on the season actually. But yeah, we are here for our boy Ghost Rider. He is so strong. He's so strong, and he provides to you the best striking ability, which is Chainsaw here. This is so busted, and the fact that he has these tags helps him go through a lot of World Boss Legend. He's really strong with multiple CTPs on World Boss Legend. Actually, not multiple. It's Judgment or Raids. So if you go through, I have make a dedicated video for him, which is the best CTP to use and for what, etc, etc. But pretty much Raids makes him better for ABL and ABX if you use the character. If you don't use the character, Judgment is the best to use as a striker to have him for every content in the game, you know. World Boss Legend, for World Boss Legend, he's strong with a Rage or a Judgment also, a striker or as a DPS. So there are a lot of things that you can do with him, you know. He is one of the best for zombie mode also. He is a menace. He is really strong, and yeah, totally worth. I'm not sure if he's gonna be replaced anytime, you know. He's already way longer than I thought in the meta, and he has value also for PvP. Once you get his artifact, he's smashing PvP. He goes there, other world battle, and destroying enemies. He has some passive ability that gives him damage against supervillain for himself. He has some skills that you know, do even more damage. It's crazy. All these procs goes into his fourth skill, and he destroys whatever he sees in front of him and its villain. So totally worth for both PvP and PvE. For PvP, you need the artifact 100%, and you don't need to change the CTPs. I've seen people using Mighty Grid, which is so lame. Do not spend your Ghost Rider into a PvP build. Go straight up for the PvE, take advantage of the PvE value, and use him as PvP. 2. That's not really worth swapping him into PvP CTPs, because the PvP CTPs is not like they're gonna give you more damage. They're gonna give you survivability, which you don't need. He's a glass cannon. You don't want him to survive. He just goes there, burn them down. He has the immortality, burn them again down, and then goes down. Whatever CTP you're gonna use, you're just gonna lose the damage as a striker or standalone character. So yeah, full PvE is the way. Do not change your mind and go PvP. And number 2, she's so cool. She's so cool. It's a skill issue character. You can play with her and suck, but you can play and fly. She is really hot for real, and she can be used actually with a Rage or a Judgment. I suggest you both Rage and Judgment for PvE, you know. World Boss Legend, whatever you equip, she's gonna do it. ABX, ABL. If you use the character for ABL, I would not consider going for Judgment, because, you know, for ABL, Judgment performs way worse. From the other side, there is Wanda for there, so if you use her for ABX only, Judgment would perform actually the same. She is one of the best characters to use for multiple World Boss Legend. She is one of the best characters to use for GBR. Ghost Rider also, I forget to mention, but I love playing Ghost Rider and Jean for GBR, and also for World Boss Legend. Both characters are performing perfect. As for PvP, you can find some use on here into Alliance Conquest or other world battle, but her main value is PvE. But the point is that if you manage to master her rotation, you can do damage close to Wanda for ABL, and really, you know, even no restriction. People use her even at no restriction days for ABX. She has a lot of hits on her skills, and if you play perfect, you can have the best results ever with her. And the fact she's more than 2-year-old character and she's that high on the damage is really impressive, and that's why I have her here. Perhaps you need to pay the quest, perhaps, you know, Wanda is free, you could just go there and get her. You need to play the epic quest, but still, the overall value of the character for her tags and the fact that you can use her also as blast type, with these uniforms, she's usable for ABL, one of the best characters to use too. For PV, for for World Boss Legend, you can go swap into Hero or Blast, and she can power creep every single World Boss Legend actually, even with the other uniforms. She's crazy, guys. She's crazy. I cleared Gore 99 with her, I think, with the Blast uniform. Think about that. When I didn't had any Blast female back there. So yeah, she's so strong, no joke. And yes, there is no other place to be. He is a character that I believe he needs nerf. Yes, I believe he needs nerf somehow. Knull is not just the number one, guys. He is crazy good. We're talking about a character that he is miles away better than the second, which is Sentry. Now, right now, needs no build, needs no artifact, needs nothing more than a mighty grid or a GBI obelisk with a proc on it, and a proper gameplay, and you can kill everyone in Timeline Battle. But the worst part is the other game modes, is Alliance Conquest, is Alliance Tournament. He's undying. If you have a really busted account, or if you just drop your alliance in the Alliance Conquest, you're not gonna survive over and over, gonna kill every single team until a Knull killing team pops out and kills him, or else he is a problem. He's a problem. We had an issue on Alliance Conquest, at least I had, my account is not that good for PvP, and I couldn't get wins against a Nemesis because some Nemesis now are not dying, dude. Are not dying. He is amazingly good. He can serve you crystals through Timeline Battle. And with exactly the same build, with the Mighty Grid, you can go into World Boss Legend and have fun. You can go into GBR. He has the damage to perform for PvE too. He's not the best on anything for PvE. He was a big letdown for me because I was expecting him to be good for ABL and replace finally Loki. But no, he didn't. But yeah, the point is that he's by far the number one PvP character and miles away than the second, which is Sentry. And it's sad. It's sad. We need someone to counter Knull at this moment, like it is right now. We need someone to fight Knull. Emma tier 4, I'm not sure. We need someone because only Silver Surfer on manual, some Wolverine swap play with sentries and stuff like that, can take down him in Timeline Battle. Or use your own Knull, of course. But yeah, he's an absolute monster. Let me know down below in the comments if you have different opinion, if you have a different list, drop it. Let me know your thoughts, your ideas. Hope you enjoyed. See you into the next. Kisses in your faces.